Alrighty, this is Jim, and I'm going to tell you guys about LARP. PowerPoint was originally supposed to be the video, but it didn't work. Anyway, so the main question is what is LARP? What does it stand for? Well, LARP stands for Live Action Role Play, which is the reason why it's a microculture is because it's sort of a microculture within a microculture that has microcultures within it. It's a microculture of regular role-playing games, really. So like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, that sort of thing. And it's a sort of that in and of itself is a microculture of like geek culture, nerd culture. And it's, so basically the basis of role-playing games is you take on a character that's not yourself, and you sort of play them. And usually you can take aspects of yourself and put it into the character, or you can be something completely different. But yeah, so it's different from Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder because it's sort of more, you're not using a piece of paper and dice, you're actually like physically there. You're wearing a costume, that sort of stuff. There was a really terrible movie called Knights of Badassdom, I think, that portrayed it as weird and kind of goofy, and most LARPers don't like that movie because it's sort of offensive, but not really. Anyway, so what do we do? Well, basically it's a bunch of nerds going to the woods and be a character for a weekend or a week. Usually we go to campsites. I go to one in Sparta, New Jersey. It's called Realms of Adventure. If you're interested, look it up. At a place called Camp Sacagawea, which is sort of like they usually do summer camps, but it's sort of a thing. They have a lot of medieval setup stuff there. So, for example, this is a room. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but we sort of tone it down. We turn off a lot of the modern conveniences, and that's a big thing, like taking out no phones, or computers, or a lot of that stuff. And you don't talk about stuff that happens in the real world, because that's out-of-game stuff and shouldn't be in-game. Now, naturally, there's a lot of safety stuff that needs to be there, like exit signs and toilets and stoves, because no one there really knows how to cook without some modern conveniences. But yeah, it's the basis of it. So like all the lights, so no electric lights, but we use candles, we use light bulbs that look like candles and real candles for lighting. It's fun. Combat, which is sort of the goofy part of LARP, is done using these guys called boffer weapons. And what boffer weapons are basically PVC pipe wrapped in pipe insulation or pool noodles and then duct taped. And the reason why I do that is because it makes it a lot safer. Naturally, you don't want to be hitting someone with something that's actually metal or something that's not soft, because most people that are at LARP don't want to be badly bruised and with broken arms and legs and stuff. So yeah, that's sort of a natural thing. Magic is done using things called spackets. They look like this, and they are basically birdseed wrapped around cloth, that's also wrapped around another thing of cloth, and you just sort of throw them, and then you say whatever magic you're doing. And then monsters. This is actually from the game that I go to. You just wear latex masks as a monster, and then basically go out and fight, and usually die. There's a lot of, obviously for this stuff, you have to sort of have an active imagination. So like when you get hit by a foam thing, it doesn't actually hurt, but you have to pretend that it hurts. It just adds to the immersion of it. Same with the monsters and the magic stuff. Costuming, which is my favorite part, can really be anything. It's a lot of self-expression, but a lot of people think that you have to be like this guy with his really awesome costume that's professionally made and all that sort of fun stuff. You don't really need that. A lot of people do stuff like this, which is really simple, but still really cool. And cheaper. A lot cheaper. LARP's expensive. You pay $46 to even get there. I make my own costume. A lot of people make their own costumes as well. Just order a bunch of pieces and then sort of piecemeal it together. So that's me, my costume. But I play Dimitrios Kolomanikovan. He's a gypsy man. That's another thing, you can do voices, and voices are fun. The reason why I really like it is because it really gives a sense of community. I mean, when you're in game, you all want to protect each other. You're all part of the same town. You make friends in and out of game. So when you're done the game, you have to clean up the campsite. And cleaning it up is a great time to get to know the other players that you're playing with and learn about them. People talk on Facebook all the time. And there's like things like group dinners, like we go out just to a random restaurant in New York and it's like 50 of us and you just sort of talk. I call it like a second family. So like sports teams have their family within their sport team. Bands consider themselves a family. My family happens to be a bunch of nerds that go out into the woods for 3 days and it's awesome. And so yeah, that's LARP. If you guys are actually interested in it, let me know. I can probably help you get set up or something.